Have you ever found yourself in periods where you're so angry you can hardly speak, but you feel ashamed of it, you don't want to have anything to do with it, you pretend it's not there, you don't see any reason for it, but yet it's very strong and very forceful, and it keeps blowing up on you when you least expect it? Well, you may have a very good reason for these explosive experiences of anger that you have inside, but that you can't get out and express on the outside because you think that they're going to be bad for you and make you feel ashamed and so on. So I'm going to tell you a little story about someone I helped with this exact problem. Let's call her Alicia. Alicia was a woman who had a family. She was in her 30s, and she had been struggling with either getting very, very depressed and feeling nothing, going about life as a robot, or she would be waking up in the morning full of anger and venom and wanting to punish people and not letting them get away with everything. Everything was irritating to her, and she just wanted to control everything and make everybody do what she wanted so that her wishes were being acknowledged and met and fulfilled. What I discovered with Alicia was, when she was very little, her parents were not really tuned into her. They didn't care about her feelings. They were involved with another child. They had their work. They had their issues and so on. And they didn't really see how lonely she was, how upset she was, how much she wanted to be included in their world. So she would try to make herself feel present and visible, but they wouldn't do anything. They wouldn't acknowledge her. And so she would feel furious with them. She wanted to punish them. She wanted to bang on the door to make herself known. She wanted to have a temper tantrum right in front of them so that they could not ignore her. She wanted to be in their face, basically, so that they would take her into account and make her an integral part of their lives. But of course, as a young girl, she couldn't do that. She was terrified that if she showed them how angry and furious she really was at being pushed out into the cold and ignored, that they would stop loving her, they would disown her, they would leave her, they'd send her away, that basically her life would be over. So she kept it in. Now, as a grown-up, whenever she saw other people having their feelings of anger and getting people to respond, she would get angry and envious. Well, if it's happening for them, why can't I do it? Why do I have to keep my feelings in check when everybody else is getting theirs attended to? And that's what we worked on, that she could not give herself permission to have those same feelings and express them and get attention and feel cared for. Not always in that way, but it was a beginning. And that's because she was still harboring this idea that if she dared to express her rage at feeling unattended to or ignored or invisible, that she would lose everybody. So one part of her was terrified of showing it, and another part of her was determined that she had to make everybody obedient to her will, and that was the way of getting love. So she was stuck in this horrible dilemma until we worked through it, and slowly, by giving herself permission to express her anger at not being seen, loved, attended to, and whatnot, she found out that it was okay, that it made room for people to love her the way she was, that they weren't all like her parents, they weren't all ignoring her. It was just that she had this notion in her head that love equaled obedience, and that she had to whip everybody into shape and terrorize them into loving her, or else she was never going to get loved. And that way she could feel powerful, she could feel in control, because that's what she needed to feel as a child and wasn't able to because of her fear that she would be obliterated, given away, not wanted. So now as an adult, she was facing the same issue. We worked on giving herself permission, of making room for being loved in a good way, and making anger okay, and that stopped her from having these violent outbursts and periods of depression. Very slowly, she found a balance in the middle, and anger became not just a whip and an instrument of terrorism, but an actual experience that she was having. And we could make it legitimate, we could share it, we could tolerate it, we could see if it was justified, we could have it just be part of her emotional repertoire, not her weapon of connection. And you can do the same if you follow the same guidelines. Let me know by making some comments below if you've had any experiences like that and how you've dealt with it. And share with me how you found this video and let me know what else I can help you with.